Hello, my name is Kevin Allen, and you're listening to Last Chance News and Radio. First off, let me tell you about myself. I am a born again Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ and that He died on the cross and rose 3 days later. I believe there is only one God and only one way to Him, and that is through Jesus Christ. I believe you can only be saved by asking Jesus to come into your heart and forgive you of your sins. Now, let me tell you about what Last Chance Media News and Radio is. We will be discussing news that relates to Bible prophecy and foreign relations and the standing of the United States with other nations and governments. We will be discussing all the news that matters. Now, what's different about us? Why can't you just go to Fox News or CNN? It's because you have to search through all of that news to get to the stuff that you actually want to see. Here, all the news that pertains to the United States security and how it relates all to biblical prophecy. You'll be able to find it all at one website. Uh, you'll be able to hear it on our radio program. You'll be able to discuss it. You'll be able to interact and be able to ask questions. Now, first off, let me go ahead and say that I am not no biblical scholar. I'm not a theologian, and I'm not a preacher. And I am definitely no Bible expert. However, I have studied foreign relations and news since 2001, and it is my goal to reach out to as many people as I possibly can and let them know what is going on around the world. Um, Obviously, if you found this program, you're already interested in what's going on around the world, but there's so many more other people out there that has absolutely no idea of what is going on. Then they get up with their everyday lives, they go to work, they come home, they eat supper, they watch maybe possibly if they're lucky ABC News at 6 o'clock, and that's it. And they have absolutely no idea of what's going on. And that is probably the first and worst mistake that the United States people is making. We are not familiar with our surroundings around the world anymore, and that is probably going to be our greatest downfall. So it is my goal to reach out as many people as I possibly can, inform them on what is going on, we'll leave it up to them to form their own opinion, and ultimately at the end, hopefully, they'll make the decision to better their life, to ask Jesus to come into their hearts and forgive them of their sins. We wasn't going to do any broadcast yet. We wasn't going to be posting on YouTube until we had everything set up with the graphics engines and the software and the audio programs. But after praying last night, I decided that the way things are going on right now, we're just going to go ahead and do it. And hopefully we'll have everything in place within everything done within a week, hopefully. So keep checking back, keep listening, because I guarantee you this, you're going to enjoy this, okay? We're not into conspiracy theories, okay? All the news that we're going to be discussing is news, and it's come from a strong news source, okay? So there's not going to be no conspiracy theories. If there is something that is up to theory, then we'll state that it is up to theory. But if we say it's news, then it's news. If it's fact, it's fact. Okay? So this is not another conspiracy theory site. We're not going to be talking about an alien abduction in Texas. Okay? This is going to be real news, real world politics, and how close we are to really coming to the end of the age. Alrighty. North Korea. That's really what I would like to begin off talking about first. North Korea, in my opinion, is probably one of the worst threats that the United States has against it right now. Now, I know the major news medias, Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, ABC, NBC, they're not showing a whole lot of it. Okay, they'll come in with news breaks and they'll show it for a few minutes, but they're not broadcasting it heavily. All right, and the reason they're not broadcasting it heavily is not because it is not a threat; it's because it is a threat. You might say, well, why would they do that? If it was really a threat, they would be showing it ridiculously on the news. Well, no, that's not how our news works today. These other countries, Russia, China, North Korea, Iran, all these countries have their own analysts that is watching our own news, just like we have analysts that's watching their news. Whenever Kim Jong Un or the Russian President Putin says something or they make a statement, we know about it over here because we have our own analyst that is watching the news over there. And it's the same way with them here. Okay? So when it comes to countries that really poses a threat to us, like Russia, China, North Korea, the government's is not going to make our government's not going to make too many statements regarding the situation heavily, like we would, for example, with Iran. And there's probably many reasons for this. I would say one is because we don't want to let them know what we're thinking. Maybe we want them to think that we're not worried about them. Okay? Or it could be another reason that we just don't want to give all of our deck out. Okay, we don't want to lay our hand down. And it could be another reason we don't want to scare everybody in the United States. The way our stock market works now, it works with word of mouth and not numbers. That's obvious. Okay, so if somebody comes out there and says, hey, we're getting ready to go to war with North Korea, the stock market's probably going to drop down 400 points. That's the type of world we're living in right now. They don't want everybody getting up a bunch of guns and barricading themselves in the house. So, you notice it's not too much of a new thing. It's been done like this throughout history. If you go back to the Cuban Missile Crisis, we didn't know it was a crisis till the last 2-3 days of it. Yet this thing was going on for months, negotiating back and forth. What they call North Korea rhetoric now was Russian rhetoric back then for months and months and months. The fact is, with rhetoric is what starts wars. And North Korea is putting out quite a bit of it here lately. And here on the next video, we're going to discuss what they'll actually do, what they could be doing, and how much of it is bullcrap and how much of it is for real. So please click on the next video and we'll get right down to it. Thanks for listening.